Tulsi Gabbard. So the reason that I want to talk about Tulsi Gabbard, and we only going to spend 10 minutes on this, and then I'm going to get y'all on your way. Tulsi Gabbard is Kamala Harris's kryptonite. A lot of what they're trying to do is they're trying to bury and not talk about, but thank God we have the internet and we don't just have just regular media anymore. They're trying to bury and they're trying not to talk about how Kamala Harris got absolutely washed. So for those of y'all that may not be familiar, and I plan on reviewing this on the Anton Daniels channel a little bit closer to the election so I can tell y'all what y'all really dealing with. Kamala Harris obviously didn't participate in a primary in this election. So she was handed to us from the Biden administration, which word in his camp and what's being reported is that he's still angry at the fact that he had to step down because he felt like he was the best candidate. But Kamala Harris participated in the 2019 primaries. Now, the 2019 primaries was to unseat Donald Trump, who was running for a second term. And what happened was she got absolutely washed by Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard exposed her as a weakling, as a fraud, as she called her out on her BS. And so Tulsi is Kamala's arch nemesis, which they're saying that Tulsi is now being monitored by the feds and TSA and all of that. But what I found out recently is that Tulsi is actually being recruited and is now a part of the Trump's debate cabinet, meaning that they're leveraging her and her ability to continue to expose this woman in a debate by having her participate as a sparring partner for Trump himself. And they say that the Harris campaign is absolutely terrified as a result of it. But here's Tulsi and her thoughts. Oh, wait, I see her with the gray hair. She looking like Storm out there. Here's Tulsi and her thoughts about the radical record of Kamala Harris.
Trump landed a one-punch knockout with Biden, and he's looking to do it again with Kamala. The first debate, scheduled for September, Trump agreed to 3. Kamala so far has only agreed to 1. And here's how they're prepping. Kamala's doing her debate prep at Howard University with the same method actor Hillary used in 2016. It's a guy with a long tie who interrupts her constantly. Trump's not using method actors. He's bringing in Tulsi Gabbard, who single-handedly ended Kamala's presidential run in 2019, remember?
She put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
Trump debate.
She said way more than that. She said way more than that, but that was the highlights. But she absolutely destroyed. And nobody was checking for Kamala Harris, but that's why they call her a DEI pick. That's why they say that she was picked based off of diversity, equity, and inclusion, because they know that we got short memories. And so the only thing that we care about is skin color. We don't care about debate performance. We don't care about her record. We don't care about what it is that she's did over the last 3.5 years. We don't care about whether or not she was the border czar. We don't care about any of that. The only thing that we care about is whether or not Kamala Harris is a black woman and if she is the opposite of what Trump represents as good for this country. But here's Tulsi.
Prep specialist and former 2020 presidential candidate, Tulsi Gabbard. All right, so Tulsi, you really zeroed in on Kamala Harris. What was it about Kamala that opened you up for that kind of attack?
Really, Jesse, it was exposing her for her hypocrisy. She is a typical politician who will say one thing and do another. Rules for thee, but not for me. And that's a reflection of exactly how she is going through this debate prep. She's got her pollsters surrounding her. They're telling her word for word exactly the things that she needs to say, the lines she needs to memorize so that she can act and put on a big show in this debate. And it's such a huge contrast. You saw once she was confronted and challenged a little bit on her hypocrisy, she didn't respond very well. And I think that points to the big contrast that the American people will see in this upcoming debate. President Trump is real. He is not a politician by any means. I don't think we want another typical politician who is choosing their every word very carefully. He's a real person, a strong leader, a strong debater who has strong views on issues. And you don't have to guess where he stands on those issues, and you don't have to guess about what he will do because he's got 4 years of a record to stand on of success.
This woman is so well spoken. I could see why. If I was on the Democratic side, if I was Kamala Harris and them, or maybe you know how women are. Women are spiteful, right? Women will feel some type of way when they have to deal with the woman that, you know what I'm saying, took their husband. Instead of partnering with her and becoming sister wives, you know what I'm saying? Instead of partnering and saying, you know what? What's best for you is what's best for me. Let's both of us benefit as a result of this. And we don't have to fight each other. We can leverage each other. Instead of the Kamala Harris campaign recruiting Tulsi and say, hey, how did you expose me and how did you destroy me so that I can better prepare myself? They said, we not messing with her and we don't want to talk about her and we don't even think Trump is going to be on the ballot in the first place because we tried to put all these charges on him and throw him in jail. And so what did Trump did? He did what any good entrepreneur and what any good businessman would do. He went and got the person that ultimately ended her career in the first place, or at the very least, ended her presidential run before she was given to us as a DEI pick. And this woman is absolutely well-spoken and she spoke facts. What she said was, listen, Kamala Harris is nothing more than a paid actor. That's it. She is a person that reads from the teleprompter. She has no original thought on her own. They give her talking points, but Trump is very much just a businessman. He's a strong debater, and he's not a politician traditionally. He is a man of the people and is ultimately trying to do the thing that's in the best interest of the United States of America. And she's going to have problems. Regardless of what they put on her teleprompter, she is going to have problems when she got to answer for herself and they ask her questions off the cuff, because you seen what happened when that reporter asked her how she was going to have to pay for all of these economic policies that she said that she wanted.
So that's what happened with Biden. They spent a week at Camp David pumping him full of memorized lines in between lasagna runs, and he couldn't keep it together. He couldn't memorize it, and then he couldn't deliver it, and he fell apart. Trump just boom, boom, fell apart. You're saying Kamala Harris is similar? They're basically phony hypocrites who have to memorize things in order to get by because they can't be honest with what they believe. So Trump just has to come out, as you did, hit her square between the eyes and she crumbles?
Yeah, you know, President Trump has shown through 2016, 2020, 2024 with his debate with Joe Biden, he's a phenomenal debater. He knows his record. He knows the issues. If I can be helpful anywhere, it is sharing the tricks that Kamala Harris will try to use to lie to the American people and try to make them forget what her true radical record is. You know, we just saw she laid out her big economic plan, and it was a very memorized speech. The moment she was challenged by a reporter, she said, "It's a mistake for you to ask me what it costs. Don't ask me what this is going to cost." This is what we will see more of from Kamala Harris.
It's a mistake to ask me what it costs.
Yeah.
Wow. That's Kamala Harris for you.
But I think that Tulsi, y'all said that she looked like Rogue. I'm going to read those super chats shortly. I think that Tulsi is absolutely correct, and I think that she got her number. I would prefer to see Tulsi run on the Democratic side. Actually, I wouldn't, because I want Trump to win, and I think that Tulsi is a more formidable opponent. I would prefer, if I had to have a president between women, that I would take Tulsi over Kamala 10 times out of 10, because obviously she's much more educated and she's her kryptonite. But that is Tulsi and her thoughts on it, and then we'll continue to give you guys insight and information on what is going on with this presidential election, because you guys have to stay informed. And I feel like if I don't do it, then you guys are not going to embrace it. But she is right. I think that Trump has a leg to stand on, because we have a history or a time. And this is the part that I'm trying to figure out. Why do everybody just try to forget the best time of their lives of what was happening in 2016 through 20? Why are people ignoring that? Like we didn't see how things played out and how well our lives are. We have a strong sample size to see exactly how things played out during 2016 through 2020, but we act like we just ignoring it completely. And it's funny, because I remember when Obama was handing over the reins over to Trump, and he was acting like, oh my God, it's about to be such a disaster in the United States of America. And we thrived. We thrived. We ran up a bag. We won. and we actually fixed a lot of the problems that allow for us to be successful even within our own communities. So that is what's going on with Tulsi.